Mhm.
Okay. So this is our plans for the Fast Break event for 2016. We started out with the key constituencies, much like the previous group. We're going to focus on juniors and seniors with like the sports business majors for the same reasons they said, the internships and the jobs and stuff, that's more of a priority when they're older or farther along in college. Then we'll also want to invite the sports business club members. Then those involved professionally with the Reds, the Bengals, the Cyclones, probably UC Athletics, Xavier, other local college athletic programs. Alumni working in sports professionally, former NKU athletes. And then another one that I think would be important is if we're going to have this event in the rec center, we're going to be showing off the rec center. I think it's important that we have donors who help fund the rec center, so we can show that off to them, show them where they put their money towards. And then also a local and famous athlete. The one we thought of that came to mind first was Dahani Jones, and that's just because he's been involved with the sports business club here before. I know last semester I was involved with his Galloping Pig, so there's obviously a connection here that maybe we could get him involved. So the maximum number of attendees, with the increased budget this year, we thought that we could also increase the max number of attendees to 200. Now this figure is dependent a little bit though on the parking situation. We looked into the parking, and for roughly 75 non-student attendees, it would cost us about $500 for their parking for 2 hours. So that's a quarter of our budget, obviously. So if we can't get that number lowered at all, then we may have to decrease the maximum number of attendees. So approaching our constituencies. So for the students, we don't want to do anything fancy, just send them an initial email inviting them, then send them a reminder email asking them to RSVP. Professionals want to send them actual invitations and then follow that up with a reminder email as well. For donors, we'll want to send them the nicest invitations out of all the groups, and then obviously another follow-up email reminding them and RSVP. And then lastly, for Dahani Jones, we would just need somebody from the faculty who's worked with him before to reach out to him. And then some suggested event elements. So since we're using Chartwell's, we're not going to be able to provide an entire dinner with our budget. So therefore, when we invite people, we're going to need to advertise that all we're providing are appetizers and drinks, not a dinner. Our ideas for the rec center, we want to use the patio, and then there's the adjoining multi-purpose room right next to it. So between the patio and the multi-purpose room, we should have plenty of room for mingling. But we're also going to look into reserving the auxiliary gym, which is right across the hall. We'll use that as a contingency option, or if we find that there isn't enough room between the patio and the multi-purpose room, then we can go to the auxiliary gym as well. And then we're going to want to offer student-guided tours to show off the rec center. And as I mentioned before, this is especially important if we have donors there who put money towards building up the rec center. We're going to need to have signage made and posted instructing attendees on where the rec center is, where they're going to be parking, and also restrooms, things like that. Another thing with the parking is even in the evening, the police are still looking out for permits and things like that, so they will give out tickets. So we're going to want to send them some sort of permit or validation for them to like stick on their dashboard or something, so they know not to give them a ticket while they're attending this event. And then for one of our ideas of entertainment, we thought about raffling off NKU tickets to some of the professionals. We can't really do basketball since the season will be over by then. Baseball will be going on then, so maybe for baseball. And then on the flip side, we would want to raffle off Reds tickets for the students, and hopefully we could get the Reds tickets maybe donated. If not, we should have enough budget left over. We can purchase some decent Reds tickets to raffle off to the students.
For the feasibility issues, we have whether parking on invited students, handicap accessibility, signage, technical logistics, and audio. And for now, the most important thing we need to confirm with is the parking, because we don't know how much it's going to cost us. And it also will affect our event time, because after 6 it's free, but before 6 we have to pay for it. And also the technical logistics and audio. We're thinking maybe put out a screen for twittering, because I saw that the College of Informatics students, they did it for Relay for Life last year. And also I know that the sound system in the rec center is probably free. We still have to confirm with that, but 70% sure that it's free. And we also are thinking work with the College of Informatics students. Maybe they'll have DJs, and we don't know if they're going to cost anything, if we work with them or not, but we're going to look into that. And the RSVP registration, we are going to use an online service called Invite, and that is free. And then it's like after, it's like a reminder after we send out emails to all the guests. And this is our overall timeline. Basically, we're going to start looking into all the details from February 10th. We're going to determine parking rates and location first, because parking rates can be very expensive. And 11, we're going to determine event times, and it also depends on the parking rate. And 12, we're going to establish final guest list. It also depends on parking rate. And February 20, we're going to reserve area and rec center. And 25th, design invitation. And I think, and then March 1st, we're going to send out invitation to professionals. We're going to do it for professional part first, and then students. So 14 will be the students. And 15, we have signs and made and establish the layout of the event in the rec center, like look into detail. And then March 23rd, we are going to send out email reminders and RSVP registration. 31st, we're going to use the invite RSVP reminder again to those professionals who are possibly coming. April 1st, we are going to order food at Chartwell's, and it depends on how many guests we have. And second, we will be purchasing further raffle prices with leftover budget as giveaway. But it all depends on how much money we have left. And then April 10, finalize food order with final RSVP figures. We will have to confirm with everything, and then fast break event will be on April 14th.
And one thing with Chartwell's is that we can submit our order several weeks in advance, but we don't have to give them like the final number of attendees figures until several days, just a couple days beforehand. So there's some flexibility with that. So that's our presentation. We'll take questions. If anybody has any.
Okay, so as I was listening to yours, these are the things that sort of resonated with me. First of all, I hate to break it to you, but there really aren't any donors to the rec center because all the money came from the state.
It did.
Yeah, so great idea, but not going to get many. Now you may be able to invite members or something like that, but once again, you guys focused on having a celebrity there. So that's a theme I'm kind of hearing. I like that you actually looked into the parking. That is very, very helpful, so we have some general sense. Are you saying that after 6 o'clock, we don't pay for parking at all? Is that true?
That's what we saw on the website.
Okay.
We still have to look into it.
Okay, that's kind of a big point, so we need to make sure we understand that. You have somewhat of a contingency plan.
Yeah.
So that was good operationally to think about that. And that you also thought about maybe having the students guide tours, which was different, I thought, a different thought. So those are the things that kind of stood out to me. Does anybody have any other thoughts or questions with this groups? Okay, thank you guys.